The McDonnell Douglas MD-11 is a three-engine medium to long-range wide-body jet airliner, manufactured by McDonnell Douglas and, later, by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. Based on the DC-10, it features a stretched fuselage, increased wingspan with winglets, refined airfoils on the wing and smaller tailplane, new engines and increased use of composite materials. The Boeing C-97 Stratofreighter was a militarized Model 377 optimized for long-range heavy cargo transport. The C-97 was based on the B-29 bomber. The Boeing C-97 Stratofreighter was developed towards the end of World War II by fitting an enlarged upper fuselage onto a lower fuselage and wings which were essentially the same as the B-50 Superfortress, with the tail, wing, and engine layout being nearly identical. The Boeing X-32 was a concept demonstrator aircraft and the Joint Strike Fighter contest. It lost to the Lockheed Martin X-35 demonstrator, which was further developed into the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. The Boeing 367-80, or Dash 80 as it was known at Boeing, is an American prototype jet transport built to demonstrate the advantages of jet aircraft for passenger transport. The Dash 80 was a prototype for the KC-135 Stratotanker and the 707 airliner. The Lockheed AC-130 gunship is a heavily armed ground attack aircraft variant of the C-130 Hercules transport plane. The basic airframe is manufactured by Lockheed, while Boeing is responsible for the conversion into a gunship and for aircraft support. The Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker is a military aerial refueling aircraft. It and the Boeing 707 airliner were developed from the Boeing 367-80 prototype. The KC-135 was the U.S. Air Force's first jet-powered refueling tanker and replaced the KC-97 Stratofreighter. The Boeing KC-767 is a military aerial refueling and strategic transport aircraft developed from the Boeing 767-200er. The tanker received the designation KC-767A, after being selected by the U.S. Air Force initially to replace older KC-135s. The Boeing Model 247 was an early United States airliner, considered the first such aircraft to fully incorporate advances such as all-metal Simonuk construction, a fully cantilevered wing and retractable landing gear. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress is a four-engine heavy bomber aircraft developed in the 1930s for the United States Army Air Corps. Competing against Douglas and Martin for a contract to build 200 bombers, the Boeing entry outperformed both competitors and exceeded the Air Corps expectations. The Boeing E-6 Mercury is an airborne command post and communications relay based on the Boeing 707-320. The original E-6A, manufactured by Boeing's Defense Division, entered service with the United States Navy in July 1989, replacing the EC-130Q. The Harrier, informally referred to as the Harrier jump jet, is a family of military jet aircraft capable of vertical, short takeoff and landing operations. The Harrier was developed in Britain to operate from ad hoc facilities such as car parks or forest clearings, avoiding the need for large air bases vulnerable to tactical nuclear weapons. The McDonnell Douglas Avenue 8B Harrier II is a single-engine ground attack aircraft that constitutes the second generation of the Harrier jump jet family. Capable of vertical or short takeoff and landing, the aircraft was designed in the late 1970s as an Anglo-American development of the British Hawker Siddeley Harrier, the first operational V-STOL aircraft. The British Aerospace Harrier II is a second-generation vertical, short takeoff and landing jet aircraft used previously by the Royal Air Force and, between 2006 and 2010, the Royal Navy. The aircraft was derived from the McDonnell Douglas Avenue 8B Harrier II, which itself was a development of the Hawker Siddeley Harrier. The Boeing C-135 Stratolifter is a transport aircraft derived from the prototype Boeing 367-80 jet airliner in the early 1950s. It has a narrower fuselage and is shorter than the 707. Boeing gave the aircraft the internal designation of Model 717. The Boeing 377 Stratocruiser was a large long-range airliner developed from the C-97 Stratofreighter military transport, a derivative of the B-29 Superfortress. The Stratocruiser's first flight was on July 8, 1947. The Northrop T-38 Talon is a two-seat, twin-engine supersonic jet trainer. It was the world's first supersonic trainer and is also the most produced. The T-38 remains in service as of 2015 in air forces throughout the world. The Boeing C-137 Stratoliner was a VIP transport aircraft derived from the Boeing 707 jet airliner used by the United States Air Force. Other nations also bought both new and used 707s for military service, primarily as VIP or tanker transports. The Boeing 747 is a wide-body commercial jet airliner and cargo aircraft, often referred to by its original nickname, Jumbo Jet, or Queen of the Skies. Its distinctive hump upper deck along the forward part of the aircraft makes it among the world's most recognizable aircraft, and it was the first wide-body produced. The McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet is a twin-engine supersonic, all-weather carrier-capable multi-role combat jet, designed as both a fighter and attack aircraft. Designed by McDonnell Douglas and Northrop, the F/A-18 was derived from the latter's YF-17 in the 1970s for use by the United States Navy and Marine Corps. The McDonnell Douglas MD-80 is a family of twin-engine, short to medium-range, single-aisle commercial jet airliners. The MD-80 series was lengthened and updated from the DC-9. The airliner family can seat from 130 to 172 passengers depending on variant and seating configuration.